This race starts out with a grassy prologue, and it typically, it's swampy and sucks any type of momentum out of you, and you really have to push it to get into the woods. That's been my experience on that start. Yeah, I mean, once you get into the woods, you're hitting a climb. Not huge climb. There's no huge climbs on this course, but you do hit a climb. But you're going to do a lot of undulation on this course. Lots of making sure you're constantly in the right gear. You'll descend and get going real fast, kind of forget that there's a climb like 50 feet later. You're constantly always in the wrong gear, so it's just something you need to think about. So this part here, this is part of the half lap prologue. So if, say, you're doing 1.5 laps, you will do this part twice. 2.5, you'll do it 3 times. 3.5, you'll do it 4 times. I've never raced this race going in this direction. I only did the opposite direction. And in the opposite direction, you basically want to survive the prologue and the intensity of it. Once you get out of that, it kind of settles down. There are a few good descents on this course. It's kind of hard to enjoy them because, if you don't know what's coming up, you're always expecting another steep climb that you're going to have to mash to get up. Like right here. It's like, oh, that was fun. Oh, here we go. Got to mash up this like loose organic layer. It's as if they put like mulch down or something. Then you have another fun descent, and then another punchy climb that you have to make sure you're in the right gear for. So it's about keeping your momentum. That's the name of the game on this course. It's what I've kind of come to realize. Like once you get into the flat parts, your corners are pretty sweeping, but they're flat, and rooty. So, this is not, like for me, I'm working on it, but I'll like punch it into a corner, coast, and then explode out of the corner. But with this type of terrain, like it being flat and rooty, you kind of need to like swoop around the corner, pedaling, almost either like spinning or soft pedaling, just to get yourself around that corner with momentum. Because if you try to coast momentum and explode out, you're going to wear yourself out. because you're going to lose so much momentum in the roots in the flat corners. You know, last year, within this prologue, basically the whole, the whole group of riders in my age group, we were all one big long line, and you're pretty close together, so the intensity is super high in this opening part, and with the high temperatures, you're going to want to keep your heart rate down. You're going to want to stay cool, but this intensity, because it's flat, and then there's punchy climb, descent, punchy climb. I feel like if you're, like myself and not super fit, you're going to want to find that spot where you can kind of get a few deep breaths, but you have to survive this prologue, which is going to be about 12 to 15 minutes. It's about 2.5 miles. Once you get down in here in some of these descents and some of these flatlands, you are able to kind of regroup. But like I said, you cannot explode out of these corners with like a dive in, explode out. You have to go consistently around them just because of the flat and the roots. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the prologue, it flattens out, so you're able to, to get some good speed without much exertion. You do have these, there's 2 short climbs and short descents. Once you hit them, you know this prologue's almost over. They were like really early in the race last year because you did this in reverse. Again, you know, I'm working on a technique of just on these swooping long corners, not the tight corners, but the long, rooty corners, of just maintaining a pedal and cadence. So rather than exploding, because I was finding myself, you give like 5 pedal strokes to explode out of the corner, and I was feel like it wasn't fast, and I was getting my heart rate up. So pedaling like at a high cadence around the corners, maintaining speed through the corner without explosion, I feel like is working best on this terrain. Yeah, so after this, double track, it opens up into the grass field again. Swampy, gross, kills any momentum you have. You have to like mash it to get any type of speed. Not ideal. They fixed this bridge, that's cool. There were a few crashes there last year. Yeah, so this is the second half of the course. The prologue is over with when you hit that grass section. So if you're doing 1 lap, you'll only do this section once. 2 laps, you'll do it twice. 3 laps, you'll do it 3 times. On this side of the course, it's way rootier, for one, and there's a lot more climbing and descending. Yeah, the camera doesn't show, but it's excruciatingly rude. Um, it you know you're constantly having to pick the line that's the smoothest, so you're not losing your momentum. It's tough. But again, like with this side, there are climbs. You're going to, you're going to have to, push, hard on some of these climbs. So, also, what's unique about this course is they do have a section that they removed for the Cat 4 riders. I did not check that section out. I think it basically just cuts out a longer section that may be deemed a little more dangerous. So if you're planning on doing a Cat 4, the course will be a little different, and will be missing certain sections. This section here I always found to be a little sketchy. It looks like like the trails are eroding away down the hill, and they're trying to prop it up, so it just always feels like it's going to give out. Pausing it. So right here is where the Cat 4s will go to the right and cut all of this section out. So believe it or not, well, last year there was rain prior to the event, and this course was super slippery, but I crashed right on this hairpin corner here, and broke my mount. Yeah, right there between those two trees. I got like tangled up into the trees, broke my camera mount, and basically couldn't record the race. And that was like super early in a race, and I was like overheating. It was terrible last year. But we did have rain the night before I did the pre-ride here, so there were sections that were pretty muddy. Hopefully it's dry, but if it's going to be hot, I would love there to be like rain to cool it down a little bit. So just keep an eye out and make sure you know where these bridges are. I would hate to see people going off these bridges. So please make note of where these bridges are. That last one does sneak up on you if you don't know where, if you've never pre-ridden the course. Oxidized iron in the water. That's why it's that color, if anybody wants to know. Bridge on bridge on bridge. There's almost as many bridges on this course as there are logovers in the Chamonix Classic. Can't reiterate enough, spinning is your friend on this course with the roots and lots of organic soil on top of a layer of sand. So this is where the true climbing actually starts on this race. You know, there are some climbs. I think over 2 laps, I gained about 1,000 feet of elevation, so it's about 100 feet per mile. A little under that. There's some fun descents over here too. On this side of the course, it's less of quick climbing after descents. This is probably the biggest climb, and it's not much of the day. But here, you know, you can kind of descend, and you're not going up a 20-foot wall, essentially. You know, it's a little more gradual climbing on this side. Again, roots everywhere. And it's hard to hold your line because it'll throw you off onto a line that you didn't choose. Yeah, here's another more climbing, but like I said, it's more gradual, less momentum killing whenever you're trying to descend. You know, and this is the last, you know, few 100 feet, or yeah, probably a few 100 feet, towards the end of the race. Yeah, you gotta, like, on these steep climbs, you know, you gotta keep your weight distributed right, because there's a, like I said, there's a layer of organic matter over top of the sand, so it's it's slippery. So you're coming down to the home stretch here. You have a fun little descent, which is gnarly when you have to go up the other way. Especially when it's raining, like last year. It's the section I was talking about. So you have this descent. It's pretty fun, but going up it, not ideal. But you have to climb out here. So once you get out of the woods here, and it's a full out sprint to the finish line. So you're riding this grass, and you'll ride this all the way to the line, and the line is probably in the middle of where the school is there.